to the other thing. I guess I ought to do them all at the same time. But so I feel so much better about myself to know to understand the whole system.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
It
it.
just makes me want to just giggle sitting here.
Get a little jig on, get a little dancing on. I love it.
Do the happy dance.
Fireman.
Yeah, I love it.
So go ahead, fireman.
Go fireman.
Oh, I told my husband, Eddie, that I changed the name of my company because of you. and he said to tell you, thank you so much for helping me with that. And he thinks that's an absolutely perfect name for the company.
Yay.
Well, wonderful. Tell him I like mullet, so
Ooh, fried mullet in the morning with grits and fried tomatoes and spread-out gravy. Lord, have mercy.
Mullet in
all
your
right,
gullet.
all right, everyone. We made it. We made it to Thursday, and I love all the shares here. Really great to hear from everyone and how everything is going. And Patricia, to celebrate your success, it's fantastic, and that's what we're here for. To celebrate those things. I want to first take this time to say hello to any new members, and also, of course, our veteran members, which will go with what we're talking about today. Eddie, great to see you, and Joyce and Patricia. Like we said, we're celebrating those successes. Chukwemeka, great to see you from the UK. Alec is here, great to see you. Elisa and Anne, hey Anne. And we've got Gail here with us, Arlene, Aziz, welcome. Cassandra, Catherine, Kathy, great to see you here again. Charissa, Claire, Elizabeth, Gloria, Jamie, Karen. Is that Karen from yesterday? Maybe. Good to see you here. Caron and Christine. Maggie, great to see you here. Nadea, Patricia's here. Patty, Sandra, Scott, Sibu, good to see you here as well. Fabulous. So we all made it here to Thursday, almost to the end of the week, which is, exciting. We're on 11/11. Really great date. It can be symbolic for a lot of reasons. Why not? And also it's Veterans Day here in the United States, which is a day to bring up, to mention. I feel there's a lot that we can take from that here. I see that one of the students also put it in, Gloria put it in, Happy Veterans Day. And I know that we have veterans, Patricia, on the call as well. So, I want to first thank you for your service and honor everything that you've done for us, and anyone else that is listening or that I don't know of that has served. And for those listening from different countries, it's a very relatable day. Each country has their own day where we honor those who have allowed us to live in the way that we are living now. We're very blessed. We live in countries that really encourage e-commerce, which then pushes our limits. If you think way back when it was just, okay, let's get hey, Scott's a veteran. Yeah, we honor you too, Scott. If you think about, just a corner store, right? You wanted a mom and pop's corner store, and you would open it up there, and that's what you had. And whoever traveled around your radius, those are the customers that you had. Now we're in this huge multiverse, right? That's what's being created for us. And now we can, sell across the oceans. We can sell in e-commerce. We can sell to millions. We're not restricted by anything. And it's just this beautiful opportunity that is one to celebrate and take note of. I myself, I served in the Israeli Defense Force. And, there it's mandatory. You don't really think about it. You graduate your high school and you go on to the military. That's how it just goes. Here in America, you have to decide to go to the military. And oftentimes when you talk to people, when they have to make that decision, when it's not made for them, like it was made for me, that's what you're doing. When the decision is not made for them, then you'll hear people say, I wanted to join because I wasn't sure about my direction. I didn't know what to do. So I thought I'd join, or I wanted to be part of something grand and big. I wanted to stand up for what I believe in and be there for my country. We saw a huge surge after 9/11 and different events throughout history where people would just want to participate and be a part of something bigger and really create and relate to others. And by doing that, then, everything else in life really kind of gets sorted out or compartmentalized, right? Because you start kind of learn how to navigate life. And I thought that's an interesting concept to discuss, because that's what we ask you to do here in the low-hanging system. We ask you, first of all, you become part of something bigger. So you've become part of e-commerce, and that's huge. This is there's no borders to this. You know, a country usually is defending, you got the borders, and the army is defending those borders, and it's very defined. But look at what we've joined. We've joined something that is borderless. Really, it's as big as you can dream it to be. You can sell whatever you want to sell. Like Patricia was talking about, different ideas to put on mugs and just, laughing about it. The sky is the limit, right? There's nobody's putting this cap. Okay, well, if you cross this border, then now you're in Mexico, or if you cross, then you're in Canada, or we go to Europe, it's even less. You just got to drive with a car and you're in a different country after a couple of hours. And so this is very interesting. So if you can now see, and then if we kind of zoom it back in, you've joined the low-hanging system platform. So each and every one of you here on this call is part of something bigger than just you. Patricia knows. She was just talking about all the help that she's received from the community here, and how much it has elevated her experience, because you could have just signed on, watched some videos, done it on your, do it on your own, be done with, and that's it. That's what you have. But no, Rachel and everyone here as a team thought up to give this support system, to have this big platform where we can relate to each other. Yes, you need to set your individual goals, and you need to have a clear direction. That's that purpose, right? People searching for a purpose. What am I going to do with my life? Where should I go? What should I do? Military seems, I don't know if easy, but convenient, or maybe approachable avenue for a lot of people, something that it can be. And a lot of people join after family members and family members and family members, right? And so just to see the similarities between what has been created here for us. So now you define your purpose, you define your goal, you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're part of something bigger. You're in a community that is supporting you, right? Oftentimes, you join the military and you become this soldier. You're almost like anonymous. No, you're just you get dressed in the same clothing as everyone. You look exactly the same. You have to look exactly the same. And so you're kind of in this space of anonymity, and then you have to work your way and be shown. Do you climb up? Do you become an officer? Do you become a general? Do you become an admiral? I mean, what do you do with the time that you're there, and how do you shine, even though there's so many people that look exactly like you? And this can really be relatable to our business. There are many people selling mugs out there. There are many people selling things on e-commerce, but how do you shine once you immerse yourself in that and you kind of get into this steady role of what is required of me, which is just what Patricia was kind of sharing, okay, now I've got this part of it down. Now I've got that part of it down. Now okay, so now you're starting to learn. And this really reminds me of a really good talk that the name is going to come to me in just a second. And you can find this talk on, Admiral William McRaven. That's the Admiral. And his talk, it's on TED Talk. He wrote a book, and I'll put it in the comments in a little bit. His title is Make Your Bed. Okay, so this is an admiral, is talking about SEALs training, really, really high up in the rankings. And just showing, this idea of making your bed in the morning. Now, the military, they'll really penalize you, or, make you, there will be consequences, let's put it that way, if you don't do the most basic requirements. So, of course, here in the low-hanging system, there are no penalizations, but yes, you have results that are tied into your actions. And so a task as simple as making your bed in the morning, right? It sounds so simple, but it actually ties into so many other things. And so when you instill these habits, they then translate to your performance. So, getting up in the morning and making your bed, making your space look appealing, just a simple task. as part of the low-hanging system, we have a daily mode of operation that we ask you to do. We ask you to rise with an attitude of gratitude. Very inspiring video. I know, right? It's a really, really great talk. If anybody wants to listen to it, he has like all these different ones. Anyways, so as part of the low-hanging system, when we rise every morning with an attitude of gratitude, so that like would be one habit that you would apply to yourself. Then we ask you to visualize. That can be another habit. And then we ask you to get into some exercise, some movement. We ask you to take action with your business every day. And maybe in the beginning, just like that new beginning soldier who just joined, things can seem a bit overwhelming. You can't find your spots, your bearings, like what happens here, what happens there. Just know that as you continue to move along and to take action and to participate, that's a big one, right? So in an army that, you know, not like Israel, where you kind of have to, it's mandatory to go. This is based on the willingness to participate. There was a willingness to participate with people joining, you know, the US Army and different armies around the world that don't have that mandatory requirement. There is a willingness to participate. And all of you here with your money as well, and also with your performance and with your showing up to these calls and all the others, that indicates your willingness to participate. So now can you use that and apply it to your business and say, okay, this is where I'm headed. This is my goal. I'm headed there. I'm going to apply these steps that were given to me by someone who knows what they're doing. Rachel knows what she's doing, and she's made, a lot of money with this low-hanging system, and she's here to share her knowledge with all of you. And then of course we have our magnificent coaches. To work with Adam is just, it's a privilege, and any other coaches, Helen and Amy, and they're just, different coaches that you have the opportunity to work with, just having that experience. And everyone else on this call as well, by the way, everyone sharing your knowledge with each other is something to celebrate and honor. So reeling it back to this idea of instilling some habits in your day to day. So something as simple as making your bed. Sometimes it's that simple task, just upload 5 mugs to your store. Make that your habit. Make that your making my bed today, where you don't go about your day without doing it. And maybe some of you have some, I want to hear from you in just a moment, some things that are you're making your bed. Like there's no way that you're not doing this. Some people might say, okay, what is the big deal? Made your bed, didn't we make your bed? But it is, it's a first thing in the moment task. And it launches you into your productivity. So how productive you're going to be in your day. When we align these types of structures in our day, they're helpful. And of course, I'm sure many of you that have served in the military can attest to how it shapes you, it forms you. It really has this way of getting into our mind, okay, this goes here, that goes here, this goes here, and then you get clarity from there. So all of those soldiers that weren't sure why, what am I going to do with my life? And they join in the military and they suddenly get this sense of direction. It is that order that is instilled, that kind of just, I guess, habituate or patterns. And then you're able to explore and feel and experience all these different ways of being. And sometimes soldiers say, hey, this is not the route that I want. So if you're not in a mandatory kind of thing, then you can leave, or you do your service, you complete your service and you go on. Here, we have to really harness the momentum that we create, and we have to harness the energies to continue with our business day in and day out, because we don't have the general shouting at us or the officer shouting at us saying, get this done, do this, or no. And you don't get penalized by anyone, any official, but you don't see the results that you want. So here's where we rein in on those skills and where we can use, his reference to making your bed. A simple action is making your bed, uploading the mugs, getting things done, to really allow us to grow and to flourish and to achieve the goals. So that's where we do see the results that we want. And what is it that we have joined, to do? So Maggie's putting in coffee and tea. All right, we need more than that, guys. We need more than that. Okay, Scott says he makes his bed. Right, great. So let's use these same ideas that we have and implement them now into our business. So what are you doing? What are your rituals? I like the word that you've established for your business, that you are harnessing that force every day. So I want to hear from you, anything you want to share, any experience with the military, to honor our veterans, or anything that with rituals that you want to share on, or, what you think about this idea of making your bed. Maybe you don't agree. I want to say that there are never any wrong answers. So anyone who has something to say or something to share, then, I want to hear it. And if you don't agree with making your bed in the morning, let's hear about it as well. And if you've heard that talk, I know some people said very very inspirational. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'd love to hear from you as well. I see Eddie, the fabulous Eddie's hand up. So let's give you the floor. Please share with us. Yes.
All right. Hello, everybody. And well, my bed is made up, but my maid made my bed. Well, I live in this is anyway, where I live at, they make your room up for you and all that. And that's by design, because I hated making a bed. But I've moved so many times over the years, and but I don't want to get into all that. I want to address what you're talking about. I tried to go in the military 3 times, and 3 times I didn't get in. And I had to ask the university, what are you telling me? And it says, Eddie, this isn't for you. You will have to find a way to serve another way. Now, it took me years to get that. I'm a pacifist. I honestly don't believe in war. I mean, I'm being honest. Leo Lazard was the man that, Leo Lazard is a name. He's the man that wrote the formula for the atom bomb and brought it to America from Hungary after he saw what Hitler was doing. And he gave them the bomb because he said, I want y'all to stop war because I don't believe in it. That's why we got the atom bomb. Now, that story made me so emotional. I said, my God. He and Albert Einstein got together and got the president of the United States to put something together so scary that people will be afraid to use it. And we might look at all these wars we have around the world, but they have been mightily reduced. Honestly, I'm thinking about Patricia when she talks about serving a battalion. And I keep thinking about that because I got a lot of military friends. And one thing I noticed about the military, I don't care what branch it is, they get together and hug and talk and use that old language, MOS and the NCO and I said, all these acronyms. Yo, stop this. Them cut me out of the conversation, but I sit around there and say, but I do know about discipline though. I mean, I boxed in college, believe me, that's discipline. You throw a jab and a left hook comes behind it, automatically. I mean, I was so conditioned that if you got too close to me, my hands went up. I promise you, that's discipline. I have a ritual that I do every morning. Now, I used to have a ritual about making my bed because I had to teach that to children. I had to teach children rituals. But I meditate every day. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. I might get up 3 o'clock in the morning and start my meditations. And I might do 3 of them before I even leave the house. Because I heard Patricia saying this, I probably use her a whole lot, boy. But she says, I have things, I'm saying this because she said it publicly, that I'm trying to forget. You can't forget them. You have to reduce the resistance and whatever it is. And meditation is one of the best ways. The other one's appreciation. I appreciate everything. I told people ask me, why are you growing your hair? I'm glad because I got friends that are not bald because of Michael Jackson because their hair fell out. I'm glad I got hair. See these, I floss every morning. See these beautiful looking teeth? I floss every morning. Dentists hate me because I'm trying my best not to need you. I mean, because that's part of your image. These are things God has given you. And I was handed this low-hanging system, and it just came upon me. Why? I said, God, look, I want to be a speaker. I want to do a TED talk and all that kind of stuff. I want to write me a world-class, I know I'm running here. I want to write me a world-class self-help book, you know, but all this language in my head, I'm always writing down notes. He says, and you still don't understand why Leonard led you to the low-hanging system? That's why. I'm always looking at people's shirts at Walmart. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare you down, but that shirt, what's written on there? And I'm reading it, and I mean, but I'm understanding how I'm being guided. You know, I'm gonna have to, you know, Patricia, Karen, I'm gonna have to meet y'all one day. Seriously. That's just how I am. Look at this. The kids taught me how to use technology. The kids I work with, I didn't even know how to turn a computer on in 1997. I have a phone that's an Android that I can't even use properly. The kids taught me into getting an Android phone because I had a flip phone. I said, all I want to do is call somebody and call me back. No, you got to use the apps. What apps? I'm apt to get mad about all this foolishness, you know, but I'm understanding why I'm being led to all this. Eddie, you got an international mind. That's just how I am. I love people. You know, all this. I'm looking at this thing they're talking about Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write one goal. All lives matter. I'm African American. Yes, I said it. All lives matter. I don't care where it is. That's what our universe says to us. Love everybody. Don't listen to this crap. All this foolishness. We are in America, and those that ever get touched by America, think about this. People that fought each other for centuries are in the same country, under the same flag. We argue a lot, but we had lasted more than 250 years under those auspices. That is fantastic to me. So I'm telling you, get into your mind and meditate and touch this power that puts suns in galaxies and make planets move around and make this weather change. And you go over there and say, if the wind's blowing, if it's raining, whatever it is, enjoy it, because that's your touch in life. Enjoy this we have right here, because the more you enjoy it, the more you raise your vibration, and more beautiful things will come to you, guaranteed. Thank you very much for this commentary, Karen, and I love what you do. I love all y'all. This is just so wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
all
Eddie.
to you veterans, fantastic for your service.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. I definitely agree. You know, I'm not for war in any way. It's just, and it's interesting, you know, when you go zoom in on the people, even in a country like Israel, you know, that has conflict all the time, the people want peace. Everyone wants to live a good life. Everyone wants to love each other. Nobody has any, you know, ill feelings towards one another. But then you've got that 1% that just want to create chaos, you know, so then we have to deal with what comes our way. So yeah, that's you know, a great share you had there for everyone. And we're happy that this platform gives you this space to express your dreams and your desires and what you're creating. And it's beautiful when we can notice those synchronicities, like you asked for something and here it came in a form that maybe you didn't even imagine prior. So, you know, it's really great to acknowledge that. All right. Anyone else before we sign off for the beautiful Veterans Day and welcome our weekend? Patricia?
Karen,
yes.
Karen, please tell us a story about your time in the military.
A story from my time?
It was fun or sad or whatever. I'd like to hear something from you.
It was the best. It was the best. I was extremely lucky. However, I was very, very lucky. I was not in a combat mode whatsoever. So the Israeli army is a defense army, IDF, Israeli Defense Force. And so as part of that, you have an educational, you know, department. Everything is about educating, you know, so you could have teachers in school, you could have, you know, educators on any level that go and educate about something. So I was part of that. And are you ready for it? I was a mountain guide. So I know, right? Very surprising. So my my military was all about educating people about getting out into nature and hiking and, you know, different places to do and how to, and I was very, very fortunate. Like you're saying, you know, the things that you wanted, I had asked, you know, I wanted to be in the desert. I wanted to serve in the desert of Israel. I lived in the north and I wanted to serve in the desert, and all of the spots for the, you know, everything was closed. You couldn't get in. And suddenly something reopened, you know, opened for me. And there I was in the middle of the desert, and it was fabulous. I didn't even live on a base. I had a house, and it was wonderful. It was a really, really good experience. And I learned a lot, and I shared a lot, and I took out kids from, you know, little itty babies that are just walking to, you know, families and military. And I hosted people that came from the US on different, you know, when they come to Israel to kind of see and experience. So I went with them on their different tours and helped with that. So it was really a lot from everything. And it was a fantastic experience. So I would definitely do it a lot, time and time again. I often reminisce. Yes. But, you know, not everybody has that kind of experience. Of course, like, you know, Patricia, right? The military is always either have a really, really great experience or not so great. And of course, I lost many friends and dear ones along the way, because there was still a lot of conflict at the time. So everyone was in war. It was how it was then. So, yeah. 10% of the population serves, Scott. Scott, do you want to share anything for Veterans Day? Tell us a little bit about your service and how it shaped you.
Sure.
There we go.
Sure. Yes. I'm having a real tough time with this today, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'm usually a really positive person. But I just want to go back to a couple things I wrote down while you were talking, and I wrote at the top because Eddie struck me really raw. And I just want to say this: serving has nothing to do with war. Okay. That's my biggest outcome with that.
Yeah.
Serving has everything to do with serving.
That's right.
And one thing I got to say about serving, if it doesn't serve you, then get rid of it. It doesn't serve you. So those are about the two most powerful things I can say about serving. But where it all started out is why you asked the question of why I did what I did, why I did what I did to then and even today. And they have commonality. And I thought about it. And it basically was to, one, fill a void and to escape. And I needed this, just like Eddie needs it, just like Patricia needs it, and just like you too, Karen, or you wouldn't be here.
100%.
And so the reasons why I escaped, or the reasons why I had to fill that void, or something else, those are personal, but yet they were what moved me into that direction of making that point to serve again. Or doing it without knowing even what you were going to get into, and then doing it with the fear of failing, in a sense. But fear is a bad thing, because that's what war is all about. That's why war happens, is because of fear. It is. War does not serve man at all. So that's about my point on that one. But it was just basically all that, to remove and replace. That's why I chose to do this business. I knew what I was getting into. I've been in business before. I knew the commitment I was making. I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew 24/7 was upon my doorstep again, living and breathing it again, because that's what business is all about. And that's what I was really wanting. And that's why I chose to do this, was because that was going to give me that energy for the rest of my life to become that entrepreneur at 70 years old that says, I did it and kicked some ass, baby. At 70, so those are my goals. If you're a young person, yeah, wow. Take this time and do it, baby. Just do it. Do not waste it.
Yeah. Love it, Scott. Thank you so much for sharing from your experience. And it's really good when we know why we're here, what we're doing, and then we can tread that path. We can walk with that confidence that we need. And you use a very powerful word, serving. We are giving a service as well here as part of the low-hanging system. We're serving the community, the population, and we're answering a need. And so that is something that we have to kind of register in our mind. It's not just a random thing or, whatever, let's just see whatever happens. We'll take it slow. We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, that's one way to go about it, but that's not what we're about on these calls. That's not what we're about as part of the low-hanging system,
Right. But here we are, just like a battalion, and, in the military, you're expected to do things. You're expected to accomplish things on a certain amount of time, or it's goodbye. See you later, and nobody wants that. I don't know what that felt like. I did not have that. Eddie explained that. I did not ever feel that. I don't know what that felt like other than, wow, I have to just imagine what that would feel like. And that's just not a part of my world that I create. So, yeah. If you're told you got to run a mile and a half or a mile, whatever, in 10 minutes. I think it was a mile is all I had to do. It took me 9 minutes and 59 seconds.
You ran it. No questions asked. So let's get those mugs up is what you're saying, Scott. Let's get those mugs up. Let's get it integrated. Let's get with it. I love it. Good correlation. Eddie, you wanted to say something back to Scott, I feel. And then we got Sarah.
I'm gonna try to make this short as possible. This is gonna be a slight, it's gonna be a divergence. But anyway, sports are a simulation of warfare. One team trying to take the other team. Football, basketball, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. But let me tell y'all something, people. Now we talked about Karen talked about this being the fourth quarter. Exactly. We got what? All right, what the Atlanta Braves in August. Now they're called the boys of summer. That's baseball. Here it is August. They weren't even 500 wins. Nobody was talking about them. But from August, September to October, which is when baseball ends, they went on a tear. Now they lost 4 players, including their star. The pitcher broke his leg on the mound and was pitching with a broke leg. Morton. I didn't have time to watch sports because I was doing all this business stuff, but I said, wait a minute, what you mean? We talking about the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Mets was on fire. They beat the team that embarrassed them last year, punished them. But they did this in 2 months. Because they got together as a group and fought like a platoon trying to get their objective done. And I thought about that, and you can hear it in my voice. It fired me up. I said, this is what Karen talking about. From now until New Year's, people will spend money because this is a hot time of spending. What will you put out there so they can give you some of their money? That's what's going on right now. That's as short as I can get it. Thank you.
That's right. No, that's right, Eddie. I mean, that's why, even the topics that I'm choosing, I want them to be in the direction of really like, get with it, get motivated, get in it, get it now, not later, not in a week, not in 2 weeks, not, when it's almost Christmas Day, you know what I mean? Like now is the time. And this is where you have to get with it. And if you can use these simple ideas of a simple task, get a simple task done, just something that you repeat over and over and over and over and over and over again, every day. You just get it, right? Patricia was talking about getting, she did 1 with the help of others and then 3 already there. And now she's going to get on to the 5th and the 6th and the 7th. It's all going to get loaded and we're going to see that progress that we're here for. That's what we're here for. Really, the results. Sarah. You have to unmute yourself first here.
Okay,
there you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
First time talking, I'm always a little nervous, but Remembrance Day, my dad's dad died in the war when he was very small and he never got to meet him. So it's always kind of a day that makes me think of my dad. And he let me know that in Guelph, Ontario, or in Canada, they have banners that were made up for the veterans. So they put them all up around town, and there's one for his dad. So it's kind of neat. And he never got to meet him, but he did have his war bag with several different pictures and personal items for him to kind of get to know him, I suppose. And yeah, just wanted to share that.
That's nice. That's beautiful. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into your life and of how this day is related to you. And I love that you brought Canada into it so that we can relate to from different countries, because, we all have that kind of sense of remembrance and giving thanks and appreciation. And so that it's not, your father didn't get to know his father. That's a big sacrifice for a country. And so that is all around the world. That's something that everyone around the world experiences in one way or another when a country is being formed or when there is military and it's great that you brought it. Now we acknowledge it, we hear it, we see it, and we're right there with you. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, and we're happy that you spoke up. Like I said, there's always room. Any idea, any opinion, any share, there's no right or wrong answers. Just share. Let's be a part of something bigger, something greater. We make these connections, they feel as real as can be. And so,
right.
they are as real as can be, and they feel it, just like we're next to each other. Patricia, take us home.
Well, I wanted to tell people, I'm going to be serious right now for a minute. A lot of people think being in the military that you're a warmonger and you like killing and all this other stuff. And it's not that.
No.
Like Scott said, he had his own reasons for serving, but being in the military is being in the largest family that you can ever be in the world. Mm-hmm. No matter what happens, for the rest of your life that you have somebody you can go to for help, or somebody that you can help. If you see they need your help, you're there for them. Mm-hmm. It was a time that I learned so many things, and I learned how to grow up. I learned that other people's opinions matter, and that I'm not right on everything, even though I still think I am, but I respect other people's opinions and I listen to them. And even if I completely disagree, I respect what they think. And I was in the military in this country to give those people that right to be able to say what they want and do what they want and be what they want. And Eddie, you said something about Black Lives Matter people. I don't agree with what they do, but I respect their opinions. I think they have a little bit twisted thoughts, and maybe we need to help them untwist. And by doing that, it's becoming friends with them. And I don't know if y'all know this, but down through centuries, enemies have been best friends or brothers.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And they've talked and they've worked and they've known every second of their mind. They know I may have to kill this person one day, and they accept that. But they love that other person. One of my good friends when I was in was a Russian officer, a spy. Now, everybody in my whole unit, all the military, all the intelligence, everything, they all knew that he was a friend. And we never went anywhere without other people, you know what I'm saying? But they all knew about it. I wasn't hiding anything, and he didn't hide it from his people. We just there was a big bar, everybody went, everybody knew what we were, and we were able to get along because there's so many different people around at the same time. But I knew that if we ever had a war, that I might be across the battlefield from, you know, and it's a hard thing for people to understand who've never been in, the way you have to think when you're doing that. And I'm getting off course here, but it, you just, shoot, let me get on to something funny. I'll tell you a funny story and then I'll end with that. I started out as a private, went through basic training, got my NCO. I was an E5, was commissioned, went on active duty, and I asked to go to flight school. And they said, okay, but we're going to send you to Field Artillery Officer Basic Training first. And of course, the first thing I did, and this is tacky, y'all forgive me, I went, I didn't know I could do that. I'm a woman. Back then, women didn't do that. We weren't in combat arms. And they said, you're in the first year that we've ever put any female through Field Artillery to see how you could handle it. I was number one in my class. It just aiming and firing and shooting and blowing up targets. I put my drill sergeant's picture's face right on the target every time in my head. And I was shooting my drill sergeant. That's how I was so good at what I did. But anyway, everybody has their own way of doing things. Went to flight school, got out of flight school, went to Germany. And my first flight in Germany, I was with the pilot that I was with, and had a crew chief in the back, and we were flying along. And of course, I was so upset I was about to jump all over myself. And we were flying along, and all of a sudden, can y'all see my face and everything? Yeah. Okay. All of a sudden, I saw this coming across my windshield.
Oh no.
A hand coming across my windshield. And I looked over, and it was my crew chief standing on the skid. We were at 3,500 feet. And it scared me so bad, and it made me so mad at the same time. I got my cyclet, which is what controls it, and I went, boom, and he went, wah, and fell off. I thought I'd killed him. What I didn't know is he had on what you call a monkey strap, which is what a lot of climbers use and everything. And it's a body straps that go around your body. So if you do fall out, you have this long strap that'll hold you until you can get you down on the ground. Okay. And a lot of crew chiefs will use that because we keep the doors open all the time and you never know. Well, he had a 50-foot strap, and he had the cord, the mic cord, all hooked to the strap, taped down the strap. So he would do this as part of the fun for initiating brand new officers.
Oh my goodness.
So he went, wah, and the other pilot took control and kind of tilted it so I could look down. And he was just flying along with his little arms up like this. And I said, are you having fun, Gordy? He said, yes, ma'am, I am. I said, you're not about to be. And I went down because we had trees coming up, and I would just kind of go bloop, 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 and bounce him in the trees all the way across. And he said, ma'am, that's not very funny. Huh? You know, but that was my military talk that I had killed somebody. So anyway, that's the other part about the military, is that you're not only just being strict and straight and training and all this other stuff. It is the family where you can have fun, you can enjoy, and you can learn how to be around people. And I also learned that men are not the bad guys. And I don't hate all males in the world. And I thought I did at one point in time. But I learned that they have their place, I have my place, and then there are certain places that we kind of blend. And that's what I had. That was a good thing to learn, because now most of my best friends are men. But anyway, thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you, Patricia. Always wonderful to hear more and more stories of your life, how it kind of shapes, we're at the beginning of flight school. It's really, and exactly what you were talking about. That's that sense of community and extended family that we're creating here, that we know these stories about each other, that we can share. I knew that you had that military experience even before I came onto the call today. So it's really beautiful when we can share these little glimpses, because it brightens up our day, really is what it does. Mm-hmm. And you're right. It is that sense of belonging, sense of, wow, this is bigger than just me and I'm a part of it, which is what I hope that you all feel on these calls as well. Kathy, let's hear from you.
Well, I was showing the picture of my maternal grandfather who was in the military, but he immigrated from Austria. And when he immigrated from Austria, he had absolutely nothing. And when he came over, he was unmarried and he had nothing when he came over. And so he came over and went to a little area in Eastern Washington and started a blacksmith shop, because that's all he knew about. And the war started, and he had married my grandmother, and they set up, but he came over with the purpose of coming to the United States and starting, trying to improve his life, because they had nothing in Europe at the time, because there was constant battle, there was constant war over there. There was nothing to be had over there. So he immigrated to the United States to try and improve his life. And so when he came over here, he started his own business. He set up his own blacksmith shop in this little town. And it all comes together because when the war started, when the United States got involved and World War I started, he enlisted in the war because he felt like the United States had given him so much by allowing him to come here and invest in his life, that he joined the Army and served for the United States. So he enlisted, and I just feel like that was so a generous part of my family legacy, that he would do that after coming from Europe and coming over here. And I thought that was a good reflection on what we are trying to do also in improving our lives, and also for the veterans, of serving, serving people at the same time. He tried to improve his life and serve at the same time. So it all comes together in this wonderful story of my family anyway. Yeah. So that was my short little story, and I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so much. And exactly what you're expressing, and it's so easy to forget, to take for granted where we live and the opportunities that are, here for us right now, not later, right now. The opportunities are there for each and every one of you on this call, and all you have to do is take action. So of course, we're not calling you to enlist in any army. No, we're calling you to take action with your business and to create your dreams, to bring them into your reality. You can do it. And what we learn from all these stories, like you're sharing, Kathy and Patricia and Scott, is that we can really appreciate where we are today and use that energy that comes from our legacies, our families, or even our dear ones now, or our lifetime, and use that as fuel to really get started now, to take our lives, grab the reins and say, now is the time, not later. Now is the time for me, and I'm going to shine, and I'm going to, appreciate all that I have and serve forward, give from myself to others so that I can then receive. I'm going to give, if someone's writing about all these life experience, that can translate into slogans, lines, whatever you're putting on the mugs, all of that. You can use your life history, everything that you've experienced, in order to give to others, and they will enjoy that and then give you in return for that. So really beautiful shares. And you see how we can relate it back to our business and use these stories to fuel our newest project, which is the low-hanging system. I look forward to seeing you all here. I'll be with you next week. So we have the wonderful John Lavinia tomorrow on Fun Friday. Fun Friday is bring your pets, share a joke, success stories, something to celebrate together. So Patricia, you'll have to share 5 more mugs uploaded or products uploaded tomorrow. I'm waiting to hear that. And if we are having a meeting after this, then great. If not, then I know that yesterday's meeting was successful. So really great job, everyone, for offering your support to anyone that needs it. We'll sign off now, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.